Okay, we are live, mate. Welcome, Nick.
How you doing, Steve? You good?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. So you are on the short list of people that have appeared multiple times on this podcast. How does that make you feel?
That's pretty good, actually. I mean, yeah, it's. I guess it's. Yeah, it's. I'm actually honored. Yeah, that's fantastic to hear.
And you know what's really cool? I was just looking back at when we did the last one, and it was 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
I was actually saying to someone, I was like, I'm pretty sure we were on this podcast. Like, was it a month ago, a year ago? It's not even been a year. It must have been like September, October time. We just maybe run one of the events.
And it's pretty exciting because how far GymSync has come in that 9 months is absolutely incredible, isn't it? But just in case, like obviously people that haven't necessarily heard of GymSync or that didn't see our last catch up, could you just do as a what the fuck is GymSync?
So GymSync's a turnkey event. Basically, we run it on a specified weekend. So our next event is in September, and it's a turnkey event for gyms to run. Basically, we provide all the scoring materials, leaderboard technology, marketing, all that sort of thing. Super easy workouts to run. So basically, what we're trying to create is a erg racing concept, and basically it's ski, bike, row, and then either burpees over a line or over a box. So there's really easy judging standards, really easy to understand, and then also set up for your gym.
And how many gyms have participated in it since its inception?
Over 100 now. So our last event, we're trying to get to the unicorn. Well, it's not unicorn because we'll hit it, but that's the kind of big goal for us to have that 100 gyms competing in one event. And we think it'll just kind of take off from there, but it's already starting to kind of do that. Our last event, we had 43 gyms. That was in end of June, and it was a teams of 3 workout called Storm. And in that event, we had 1,500 athletes participate, and we had about a 500 athlete increase with only like 10 more gyms signing up. So from April to June, we had 10 more gyms sign up, and we just had much higher participation. So we've easily had at least, I haven't done the numbers, but 10 to 20 gyms since signed up. So I think we're on track to have our biggest event yet in September.
That's incredible, mate. And, you know, for those that obviously you've talked about what it is, but just as an example, what was the workout in the last one so people can maybe get an idea of what to expect?
Of course, yeah. So the last workout is called Storm. It was a teams of 3 workout. First time we've ever not had burpees in one of our workouts, and it came to universal acclaim of not having the burpees in there. But it was a 30-minute AMRAP on the bike erg, and in your teams of 3. So AMRAP, everyone's kind of I go, you go on that, but every 2 minutes, 2 athletes had to come off the bike and do a specified amount of calories on the ski and the row. So it was a disruption. So it was absolutely minging. The cool thing about the workout was just like the tactics around it. Some of the really good teams, like they were like practicing beforehand, figuring out what the best sort of tactics were, you know, how to utilize your stronger athletes, you know, how you'd mix everyone around. And then also it was just kind of the change in tempo for a lot of people. So some people were going from like, you know, crazy sprints to then recovery row into rest into sprints again, and it was kind of like fartlek training almost. So your heart rate was just all over the place.
Yeah, and what I find fascinating about it, like I've participated in a couple, did one with the project, and it's because everyone's doing the exact same thing, and it's like, you know, it's quite a low barrier entry in terms of skill, like you said. It's everyone can do it, it's all accessible. I found it fascinating because I went with the owner of project, and he's like way fitter than me, but he loves an erg. But I'm reasonable, and then when we put our score in, and then just to see some of the scores people get, and you can, I don't know, because you're doing it yourself, it feels much more relatable when you see those scores. You're like, well, how the hell did people get that? So I bet you see some unreal performances, don't you?
Well, I mean, in the last workout, the big challenge was to see if any team could get 1,000 calories in 30 minutes on that bike erg, which is, to put in perspective, 33 calories a minute. And the team that won at Fuel in Twickenham, I mean, they went into a dark place to achieve that. But it's just kind of unreal numbers if you're trying to think about that. I mean, if you just went on the bike now and did 33 calories in 1 minute, you'd be done. You know, like that's it. Your workout's done. And for them to kind of maintain that for 30 minutes between the three of them was unbelievable. But yeah, I think also seeing better athletes now taking part and taking it seriously has really been awesome for us. So we're seeing that people are getting competitive. They're seeing the prizes. They're seeing their leaderboarding. So all this sort of thing. And we're seeing leaderboarding all the way from the affiliate level. So the gyms, you know, oh, Steve, you're my frenemy, all that sort of thing. Like seeing if we can beat each other just within that gym level, but then obviously on that higher up level. And I've even had gym owners messaging me in the middle of competition weekend saying, how did this team get this score? I can't believe this. You know, and I was there. I was like, look, I'm witnessing it right now. And now we're getting that inter-gym competitiveness as well. So just so your viewers understand is we've got a, you know, your individual gym leaderboard, you've got your overall leaderboard, so all the gyms, and then we've got a fittest gym leaderboard. So we take the average of each gym, and then we can pit all our gyms up against each other. So if you're at Project, I'm Sleven, and we've got Fuel or whatever, we can see which gym has the fittest athletes. And I think it really kind of adds a lot of narratives to the story. People can not just compete obviously for themselves or for their team, but then it just kind of gives that extra bit of kind of tribal element to it as well.
Yeah, and that was one of the coolest things that I thought, like the fact that you can see that sort of almost global leaderboard where everybody is that's done it anywhere, and that people just love stuff like that, don't they? It's like the Open. When you do the CrossFit Open, you want to see where you stack up against everyone in the world, and it's just cool. Like people like stats, they like metrics, they like things that they can improve upon and that are relatable, don't they? So yeah, it's a really cool thing. And I just love the fact that it is so simple, that if it's just getting it out there to people, isn't it? And trying to get them to get involved and do it, because like it's so much fun when you actually do it, but like it's just getting people to do it. Do you find that a challenge in trying to sort of demonstrate to gyms how much fun and how much camaraderie it can create before they've actually signed up?
Sometimes, yeah. I think like anything, it just takes time to get the message out. It takes time to convince people to do this thing. I just had a gym that's messaged me now this evening that we must have messaged 2 months ago. And obviously they've seen us somewhere and we are back on their radar, and it just kind of obviously having like Nike now kind of partner with us, and we'll obviously touch on that later, but adds that kind of credibility. But yeah, people are always going to be a bit reticent. And to be honest, you know, I'm a gym owner, but running events, even if we make it as easy as possible through GymSync, running events is, you know, it takes resources, money, time, lots of stuff, and a lot of gym owners are time poor. So even when we do provide everything that we do provide, you know, there is all that setup time. And something I try to say on a lot of my calls with the gym owners is just spend that 30 minutes, an hour going through all the stuff and just familiarizing yourself with it, because then you're just running. And then once you've run one event, then your members know what's going on, and it's just rinse, repeat, and you can enjoy that repeatability. Hey guys, we're doing GymSync in a month. You don't have to put out tons of info again. You know, the members kind of know what it is. They've had a great time in the last event. And then, yeah, I've got gyms that are hooked on it now. They're just, wow, just when's the next GymSync event? They really don't have to put that much effort into these events, which means they can put more effort into other events that are just more their gym centric, or they want to do more a barbelly or gymnastic-y or just a throwdown, or I don't know. I saw another gym doing a beer mile or a beer Helen as well. Yeah. So, you know, there's all these other events going on, and I feel like, you know, this can fit in well with many gym schedules.
Yeah. So if I'm a sort of gym owner, then what is the admin on my side? Because obviously you've got Team Aritas, which all the data, everything's data's held in and all the workouts are structured in. Is it as simple as me just clicking a button and putting the workout in, or do I not even have to do that much?
You don't even have to put the workout in, because we obviously do the workout for the gyms. Usually it's a 20-30 minute call with me, and I'll get you to present your screen, and I'll just walk you through the setup process. And it's literally step by step. But once you kind of know it for that first time, there's not that much more. It's, setting up your event on our portal. It's then like setting up a Stripe account, then basically going through all the templates and the info that we've provided through Canva, which is just so helpful. If anybody's on Canva, all they have to do is like drag and drop a logo, drag and drop a picture, and then they've got all these ready-made templates, schedule of templates that Bullet Digital Media have helped us out with. And it's just so, it's easy. It's just going to take you that half an hour to kind of get all set up. But then once you're there, and after that first time, like I said, it's just super simple. You know how to log in, you know how to set everything up. You're not writing in the workouts. We've done that for you. All you're doing is kind of setting the times that you're going to run the event. And there's 3 options really. I mean, you could run it on Friday morning, but generally it's a Friday night lights, Saturday morning, which usually is like many gyms do their big sweat sessions then, or Sunday. And we've got a lot of gyms now that closed on Sundays. So then it's just an extra day that they can, provide a competition for their members, extra revenue for the gym, extra buzz, extra fun as well.
Yeah, and I love how you've done that as well with all those templates and stuff, because when you go onto Team Aritas and you see all the gyms that are competing in it, it all looks quite uniform. It's got their own little slight tweak on it and their own logo on top of it, but it makes it look really slick and really professional. And it almost, when you're on Team Aritas, the last time I was scrolling, because I looked down at quite a lot just to see what comps are coming up and if the Defiant go want to pop along to any. So I use that as my sort of database of comps to try and go to. And just seeing like GymSync, just like, man, they're taking over. That's why I called this show like GymSync's taking over.
Yeah,
because it's like it must make you feel pretty good to see that.
It does. I mean, I think it's I kind of always this mantra of be proud, but then just keep working. I mean, we're only just started really. It's amazing. I think at the end of a competition weekend and I see how many people have enjoyed it. You see the smiles, the gym owners' feedback, the competition, everything, photos, videos. And I think that's always an immensely proud moment. But then it's like, right, what's the next thing? How do we get this to more people? And how can we help grow this? And, like I said, we're just such a small team of people here doing this. And we're trying to grow as quickly as we can, but trying to keep our feet on the ground at the same time.
Yeah. So how do you sort of juggle that then, mate? Because obviously you've got Sleven, and you've got this, which is like growing. How do you like find time for you? Like, what's your sort of process of making sure you get time for yourself, get time for the gym, and get time for GymSync?
I mean, I'll be honest, it's been pretty rough, especially like the last 3 to 6 months. It's been nonstop at Sleven, been nonstop at GymSync, and I don't really get much time to switch off. And I wish I had a better answer of like, I've got like a 3-hour morning routine, or I've got this sort of thing. But I'm always switched on at the moment, and I know it's only a temporary thing. I know that we're just at this kind of inception point where there's so much going on, and I think working with Nike as well has really just obviously all the opportunities they're providing, it's just added to everything that we're doing. But that whole setup has taken a lot of extra time and resources, which now we're kind of getting through. And now we're kind of we have that rhythm where we know what we're doing, we know each other now, and they've been amazing really in helping us grow GymSync and as partners, to be honest.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit, mate, because that is like, it's unbelievable, isn't it? So how does that all unfold with Nike? Sorry, Nike. I'll not butcher your sponsor's name.
It's kind of like one of those stories you see in the movies. I got a DM one day from an employee at Nike, and just they were like, "Hey, look, we love what you're doing at Sleven. I'd just love to kind of have a consultation with you and the Gemma, who's a physio at Sleven at the running room, but she also does all the GymSyncs with me. So they want to have a little consultation of just about like where the industry is, what's going on, all this sort of thing." And we had a good 2-hour chat, and they approached me about Sleven, and at this point, this was like March or April, I had been pitching GymSync to so many brands and massive brands, all this sort of thing, and it never really quite worked. And then I reverse pitched them GymSync, and then we basically had a meeting in, must have been end of March or April at their King's Cross HQ. Walked out of there and we're like, I think we've just got some sort of partnership here with Nike. And since then, it's just been a roller coaster of just a whirlwind. I mean, what are we in now? August. So that's like 4 months. And honestly, it feels like a year in a good way. It's just been so many things have happened. And like Kerry and T, the team at Nike Training here in London, and the London team, they've just been just so supportive and helpful in getting GymSync out there. And it really started quite small, and it was just kind of seeing how we work together, and then it's just been gathering momentum. And now I'm like, I went to Barcelona with Flo, who's my marketing partnerships manager, and we helped launch the new Nike Metcon 10, and that was an unbelievable experience, and just the opportunity to do that, and for them to give us the floor and run a workout. And a lot of people say it was fixed because the GymSync team won the GymSync workout, but I didn't put the teams together. So we were really, really lucky about that. We're lucky with that. But yeah, it's just been kind of crazy 4 months, to be honest. I couldn't tell you like the amount of work that's gone in on all sides to kind of get it to where it is now. And it's now really starting to flourish. So on Friday night, we had a mini kind of GymSync activation. So we just worked between the new WIT activate, the WIT residency down in Battersea, and then One London, who's also a partner with Nike and Sleven. We basically had a Metcon shoe trial, did a GymSync style workout, got lots of people in the shoes, and they're coming back with a bang. They're really, really keen on getting into this hybrid space and this fitness racing space. And I think you're just going to see Nike everywhere now in this space. It's really exciting.
Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know, I've just got my next pair of Metcons, but I feel like the gap between 9 and 10 seemed quite big. Was it a bit longer? Were they sort of reinventing things a bit, or is that just my perception wrong?
No, you're totally correct. I think Nike Training haven't done anything for the last couple of years. I think exactly, it's been 2 summers since the Metcon 9s. Nike were focused more on wellness, on the kind of more holistic kind of space, like a bit more yoga. And I think they've seen where the market has shifted now in the functional space, and they're really kind of pushing on that, which is amazing. I think it's amazing for gyms like Sleven and all the gyms in the GymSync network. It's amazing to have this big brand kind of coming back and putting money into it, putting excitement, putting all their power to making this. I wouldn't call it a sport, but I guess it's a sport. But everything that we're all doing in the training space, whether it's CrossFit, Hyrox, Athics, GymSync, all this stuff, turf games, like it's a really exciting time to be in the space now.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting that, isn't it? That Nike is such a massive global brand, and even they can't do everything. Like. And I'm just resonating with that from a Defiant point of view. Is like there's so much we want to do, and we just take our time so that we don't ruin the brand long term by over investing in this when this might come in and all that kind of stuff. And it's almost nice to know that even a multi-million, probably billion-pound company such as Nike still have to pick and choose when they go down a certain route and take certain opportunities. So that's quite good to hear from my point of view.
Yeah. I think their intentions are really good. I think the way they're trying to do it as well is quite genuine and authentic. So, they're partnering with communities, they're partnering with GymSync, they're partnering with gyms now, and I think it's more like, where the market and where this whole hybrid space is going is more grassroots. And well, obviously GymSync is an amazing representation of kind of grassroots. It's supporting gyms. But yeah, I think like a mega corporation, and for Kerry and T to kind of identify that and to kind of support us and support these communities and support gyms is amazing, because I talk to gym owners every day, and it's tough out there. It's tough to run these businesses. It's tough, and I think we need the support, and having the support from the biggest brand is amazing.
Yeah, and how does that look like with Nike and trying to get into gyms? What's that sort of, what did they come to Sleven with the sort of proposal of?
So I guess they didn't really come with a proposal. It was a consultation, really, and then we kind of reverse sold them the GymSync. And then from a Sleven perspective, we're now a Nike gym as well. So we're working with them through Sleven, and then obviously through GymSync. So that's also just kind of added to tons of workload that we've been doing. But I'll start from a Sleven point of view. So the Sleven point of view, we've been running events now for 6-7 years. I think that's kind of one of our big strong points at Sleven. We've got a few real kind of gems of events. So we've got this hybrid race, which is a high rock simulation basically. And our last event, we had about 150, 200 attendees in a gym, and we got through 2-3 hours. We had everyone through the door. So like the kind of level of what we're able to kind of get people through, like in terms of an event, I think it's unmatched, and having the parkside running and all this sort of thing is amazing. So that's a really big event, and obviously with Nike wanting to get back into the hybrid space, it was really interesting for them. We've got our Sleven X Games, which again we had 150 attendees. It's a CrossFit competition in May, so we're really excited to see what we can do with Nike for next year's event as well. But yeah, are there any stipulations from Nike being one of their gyms? I don't know about stipulations. I think.
So they're not like, you can't have anyone in Adidas in this gym, something like that.
No, it's not. It's been pretty relaxed on that side of things. I think they've seated us, and like the staff are just got Nike all over, and we're loving it. But yeah, it's just more about the events, and obviously then there's we've got to put things through review in terms of like videos and content and all that sort of thing. But totally understandable if they're paying for stuff, So yeah, they want to get their brand out there. So really, it's been, I think, getting everything set up and getting everything working has been like the difficult bit. But then now that we know how we all work, and we're almost kind of working between 3 teams. It's the Nike team, and then their events team, and then us. So it's just kind of figuring out how everybody works, and yeah, it's been crazy. But back to my point before the tangent, it was just our events, where we do so many events, and it's kind of one of our big strong points, and we're the home for so many different communities as well that are external to us. So yeah, that's been kind of great on the Sleven side of things, and that's really helpful. And then they're going to be helping members out with, like, we do something now called the Committed Club, and every month a member who comes more than 13 times in that month will get put into a raffle for a free pair of Metcon 10s, and just kind of giving back to the community. And we've got 20-30 members going to Marbella for the Marbella Championships in October. Then we're taking about the same number to Valencia a week or 2 after for the High Rocks, and they're going to help support us with that sort of thing. So yeah, it's just been amazing. And I think like 7 or 8 years, I guess, of hard work for Sleven is just kind of starting to pay off. And then GymSync is kind of like the next evolution of it, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Another question from Jake there, mate. I'll bring it up for you.
Yeah. So I mean, we had an activation on Friday night. So we launched the Metcon 10. We launched that at 3 gyms. So it was between GymSync and Sleven. We did, in our last hybrid race in July, we did a free bra trial for all the female athletes, and the Rocks Queens came down. Shout out to Caitlin and Simon. The Rocks Queens are doing a great job as well with their community. So we had, so many athletes come on down, and it's just a great way for Nike to get back out there and be on the ground with everybody. And those are the kind of the last two events, and then obviously all the GymSync events as well. They're activating at about 5 London gyms with each GymSync as well. So we're obviously managing all that and kind of working with all these things. So you can just imagine, you hear just in the last month how many events we've had and all that sort of thing. So that's where all my time's been going.
Yeah. Is it, I don't know if you'd know this, but if not, you maybe could give it them as an idea, mate. Do you think they'll work on a new shoe that's like sort of a hybrid runner and Metcon, so that people that are doing high rocks, it could be like an almost, like Metcons are for CrossFit, running shoes are for runners. If there was some in between that sort of had the soft heel for the running, but still had the stability of a Metcon for the sled push and all that, is that in the works? Do you know?
I think so. Yes. I couldn't confirm it, but I'm pretty sure. It's not just them, but a whole bunch of brands are working on the same thing, I think.
I wonder who's going to get there first then, because that will blow up, won't it?
Yeah. Well, it's having all these different shoes, right? Like you want your Metcon 10 for your lifting, right? Then you've got your running shoes, your Pegasus, or your Zoom Flies, all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. All this sort of thing. So all these different shoes, you're going to want them for different things. And then you want your carbon plated ones for the race day and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I think there are a lot of people will want to have all these different shoes. And it's, a company like Nike is going to be able to kind of provide all the different ones as well.
And what was it like when, I just want to go back to when you said you were in Barcelona, because I saw on a few stories that you were actually doing a speech there as well, weren't you? Talking to all these people at this event. That must have been pretty surreal, man. That
was nuts. It was just really kind of introducing the concept of GymSync and what we were doing the next day and how it was going to work. But yeah, I mean, there were some high flying directors from HQ in Oregon, from EMEA HQ, in Amsterdam, and then obviously the London team as well. So as an experience and the networking that occurred through that, and it was just such an unbelievable opportunity. I think, like, I was thinking about it the other day. It was just how grateful I am to Carrie and T for just like believing in us and partnering with us and kind of being on this journey, because they've been so instrumental in the growth of GymSync in the last few months as well. I tell them every day, I'm just like super grateful for everything they've been doing.
Yeah, and it's always good to like look around at the people that have, helped you on your journey. But man, you need to like step back and maybe credit yourself. So I'm not saying that you don't, but what you've built, and even when I spoke to you way back 9 months ago, and even before that, me and you were chatting about how we could work, and we're still working with Defiant Print Services and GymSync. It's like you had a vision, and it was so clear, so direct, and you were so confident in your approach, and it had been thought out so well that you were always going to succeed with it, because you were just singularly focused on how to make it happen. So, like, for you to be on this journey and be grateful to those people, that's great. But also, like, you should be proud of yourself for what you've done. And, like, just in this 9 months, how far it's come. And then with the exponential growth that comes with growth, where it's going to be in 3 months, 6 months, next 9 months, it's really, really exciting, man. So I'm buzzing for you.
I appreciate that. I think, like, to be honest, I'm very hard on myself. I feel like I've not been able to dedicate as much time on GymSync as I've wanted. And like, honestly, like Flo Wong, who's been working with me since September, October, she's a absolute machine and workhorse and getting stuff done. And like, she is keeping things moving more than anyone at the moment. Lucas at Team Areta is just like, I will message him, and within 3 seconds, he's messaging me back, and he's got 2 full-time jobs. He's training. He's just had a newborn baby, and he's just also just obviously such a big part of what we're doing, with the leaderboard and the tech. And then Dan Ulf Hansen, who's doing all of our branding and stuff. He's just been unbelievable as well, and just getting everything out there. So like, I'm only as strong as the team around me, and it's a growing team, and we're really looking, I think in the next few months, I think you're going to see some really cool announcements of things that we're going to be doing, and, you know, stuff I can't really talk about right now, but it's, you know, kind of going to be pushing GymSync now into the next evolution, and kind of taking it from me being part-time GymSync. It sounds crazy that I'm part-time on it, but I really am, with just how much work I'm doing in Sleven. Like, my Mondays are about 8 hours of one-to-ones. It's just, well, not about 8 one-to-ones of like 30 minutes, which always go over, and then a team meeting. And, you know, so like most days I'm trying to, you know, juggle all the things that are going on at Sleven, and that's just such a tough business on its own. Just doing that on its own would be like plenty of work, but yeah, I've got such a great team behind me to kind of help push it forward, and then, yeah, we're looking now to grow the team a little bit more in the next couple of months.
That's really exciting, mate. And like, I guess that's the thing, isn't it? With if you set your business up for success, like you obviously have with Sleven, if your attention has to be split, then you've got the right people in the right places, and you've done the hard graft of finding those people, then you can afford to sort of go into other areas and split your time a little bit more. So that's another testament to, I guess, what you built at Sleven. And I guess that comes nicely onto that. In fact, actually, before I do that, I'm going to just push you on one of those things. So I know you said there's some announcements that have not going to be made yet, and obviously you can't for whatever reasons. Is because I was going to ask you, are we likely to see an in-person GymSync event at any time? But I don't know if that's one of the things you're not allowed to talk about or what.
Well, yeah, stuff that I guess we're working on a bunch of stuff, and like, I'm going to be like, oh, we're going to do this in-person thing, because we're kind of in discussions at the moment, but that's stuff that we're working on. We're looking at raising some funds as well. So again, trying to grow the company. I think what's becoming apparent is we just need more people, more hours, more things going on, and pushing things. So a lot of the growth has been quite organic, and we're just limited in the amount of time and effort that we can put into things. And like you said, the growth has been amazing, but if I just had somebody making calls all day, or, you know, reaching out to gyms all day, we'd have so many more gyms on board. And it's just a fact of, like, all of GymSync has just been funded by Sleven, and like, now we just kind of need to let GymSync go off on its own. So yeah, we'll be seeing some news about that, and that's going to be super exciting, I think, as a business, and for me as well, to just be able to delegate some of the, and for Flo to just be able to start to delegate some of the tasks that we're doing, because we're doing everything. It's like event management to sales calls to tech solutions to, you know, putting, you know, designing posts to filming to anything and everything that we're doing to tech, all of it. So, you know, delegating tasks a little bit more, having dedicated people that can help grow the business as well. So kind of want to bring in some talent to do that, like CRM systems and the like. So, and then I think GymSync is going to become a media business. I think it's all about the narratives, all about the stories, all about what we can do to showcase gyms and what they're doing, and the athletes and the gym owners, and, you know, anything that's going on in the fitness space. I think like we need to be there, and that is just time, money, effort, all that sort of thing. And we need to, well, we'll get there, but that's something we want to like provide a lot more of.
Yeah, and something you touched on then, like the stories, that is what drives any business, especially in this industry, in the fitness industry. Because if I think about, I was at the CrossFit Games, so I'm just using that as an example, and the vibe there this time, you know, after all the bad press it's had, it seemed to be really like, I don't know, it was just such a good buzz there. And I think that was in part because, like we said about the stories, you know, like there's Lucy Campbell, who comes second after not being told she could ever do CrossFit again. Tia, 8th time, just mental, mind-blowing achievement. Then you've got like Dallin, Jason Hopper, and James Sprague are all friends, and it's just, there were stories everywhere you looked, and I think that's what people buy into, and that's what get the fans back and start people getting excited, because they've got people that they can follow and they'll relate to them in their own little way. And stories is massive. And the great thing about GymSync is, because the barrier of entry, like we said, is so low, those stories of maybe a 60-year-old that walked into a gym really unhealthy and ill, never thought they could even do a box jump, let alone do a burpee box jump in a competition, you're going to be able to provide that platform for them, aren't you?
Yeah.
To tell them stories.
Our goal with GymSync, and this will kind of touch on what you just said, is I don't want the gyms to have to market anything at a certain point. We want to have a GymSync weekend, and it's just about the gyms signing up on the portal, and everyone piles in because they know about it. And that's only going to happen because we can tell those stories and we can put out the comms and the information. And then people are just going to be so bought into, that 60-year-old that's, was on death's door, or they're going down the wrong path, and we can, highlight that story. And that's not like the good work GymSync's doing. That's the good work that gym is doing. And that's what I want to do, is if I help gyms, GymSync will be successful. So that's like our sole goal, is how do we help gyms to run these events? How do we help them to make more money? How do we help them retain members and bring excitement and all this sort of thing? And that's kind of, if we have that kind of singular goal, everything will work out.
Yeah, and it's such a great goal to have, because that's the way we all get better in this space, isn't it? Because when the space is bouncing and popping, like we do better, the Defiant Co, GymSync does better, CrossFit does better, High Rocks does better. Everything explodes together, because we are a community, and I always say the saying wrong, but it's a rising tide rises all ships or something like that, doesn't it? Yeah. And it's just how we all work together to get better. So we've talked about Sleven a little bit. How are things at Sleven and down in London? Is it still popping off?
I think events wise, and I think what you see on social media is like it just looks amazing. It looks crazy. I think Jake at the base show is saying the events look so good on socials, and yeah, I think that's great. I think like behind the scenes things are a bit tougher. I think in London 2 weeks ago, there were 3 gyms that shut their doors. So we had Freyr, we had Tribe Shepherd's Bush, and then we had, Gymnasium Clapham closed down, but that was just, I think, a landlord issue. Since I think business rates have gone up in April, they went up about 140% for gyms, which is just an eye-watering amount of money. It's been a lot more difficult. And then the market itself in London, it's just been quite weird. We didn't really grow in the period that we wanted to, which is before summer. So traditionally, kind of February, March, April to May, June, like kind of that period before the summer, we usually get a period of growth. Everyone comes in, they know that they're going to be away over summer. They want to start to look good, but we didn't get any growth. If anything, we've been kind of retracted. We've probably lost about 40, 50 members since like February. And it's, we're kind of waiting to get to September to kind of to continue to grow. And we know we're doing the right things. We've just hired on a salesperson, and we've had someone in sales now for the last few months. And we know we're doing the right things. We know we're following up with people, calling, all that sort of thing, getting the name out there. The fact that people know about Sleven and they see our events and all this sort of thing. But, it's been more difficult probably than it looks like. And I think, obviously we're going to put our best face forward, but being honest, it's been a bit more of a tough time. And I wouldn't be surprised it's similar for a lot of gyms in London at the moment, that they've, been really working their nuts off and maybe not getting the returns that they've expected.
Yeah, and aside from the business rates, because the government need the money to just continue to house people in luxury hotels, why do you think there is that sort of vibe in London? Do you think that's just because I see London as quite a sort of, it's a place where people go, in England, it's a place where people go for the next opportunity, the next dream, they're going to go to London, either get a high-flying job, or if they want to, be in the performing arts and such, like, they go down there. Do you think like less people are actually going to London at the moment as a country because there's less opportunity, or is it hard to put your finger on?
I think it's a perfect storm of a few things. I think, the economy is not doing as well. I think that's one side of it. I think the fitness market is changing as well. I think what we're seeing in London is people now wanting to do more. And it's crazy that I say this about events, but we're just seeing so many communities and so many event driven like gym events going on, that I think a lot of people that are a bit more advanced, they now can go to a cheaper gym, maybe down the road, like a Pure Gym or something like that, spend 30, 40 quid a month on that, and then go once a week to this free event on Wednesday, and then they'll do the beer mile on the Friday night, and then they'll do such and such. So they'll get that kind of community fix that they used to get at, your traditional CrossFit and your functional gyms. But that's kind of what I've been seeing. So, it's much cheaper for people to get that social community fix, but that's only really available to the people that are a bit more advanced, I would say, that know how to train, that can do it on their own. But, I think the style of training that we do at Sleven, and like most gyms that I know around London, they're working, progressions and solid training, really good coaching. So, if that's something that anyone is looking to do, they're just not going to have that at a Pure Gym. And then most of these events, you're going to be doing, well, probably, it's a harsh word, but sort of like junk volume, right? You'll just be going from jumping from things to things, which is great, for the odd occasion. But if you're looking to get fitter and stronger, you don't want to be doing that as the majority of your kind of training sessions. You want to be doing your progressive overload, your strength training, have some sort of plan, and that's what you're going to get at a gym like Sleven.
Yeah. So, like, from that point of view, have you got anyone within the London gym scene that you like, sort of, I don't know if you have, because having spoke to Jamie up at Method, I know him and the guys at CrossFit Tyneside and a couple of others, they speak and they help each other along. Is London like that? Because it always strikes me as maybe a less friendly place than way up north. But do you guys get together and maybe talk about stuff like this?
So this is a barrier I've been trying to kind of get over with most London gyms. And I think obviously through GymSync, I am talking to a lot more gym owners than probably the other gyms, but I am so open book, and I have really good relationships with like the guys down at Gymnasium, Michael at CrossFit Putney, Mike at CrossFit Vauxhall, who's just down the road. I'm probably going to go on a podcast with Mikey, who owns London Weightlifting, just down the road from me, next week or two. I talked to Vinny last week at One More Rep, and Carolyn. So yeah, working with Steps now. There's 1971. I was just down at their gym about 2-3 weeks ago in Stratford. Literally, I'm trying to work with as many gyms as I can. And it's funny is some gym owners aren't really open to working or like chatting, but I'm like an open book. I think the only way that you're going to get anything out of anybody is by being honest and, being vulnerable and, hey, look, guys, everything at Sleven's amazing, but yeah, well, actually we've got a declining membership at the moment that we're trying to figure out. And if people can see that, then they'll be like, oh, well, we've got the same issue too. And like, what are you guys trying to do? Or we had this issue and then we changed this. And I think that's the only way that we're ever going to work together, because in London, such a big market, people are going to change gyms, people are going to move around. But I guess if you provide good service, you should be getting members, and you should be able to run a good business. But yeah, I even was Jamie from Method. We've had 2 calls with him, and then he was down in London about a month ago as well, and we had breakfast on a Saturday morning and just talked more shop. And it was funny at the end of the breakfast, Jamie was like, fuck, I've got so much to learn from you guys. And I was like, Jamie, I am so far behind where you guys are with your business. And I think that's kind of like, those are the conversations I want to have, and I want to be like in the room with somebody like Jamie, because he is such a good operator. And like if I do have any issues, I know that's the guy I want to kind of ask, like, how did you fix this, or what have you done? And to be honest, most of these things that we're doing, like, the knowledge is out there. It's just finding the person that's done it before, or just has a good enough brain to maybe do that soundboard off.
Yeah. I smiled then when you said you had breakfast with Jamie, because I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall, because I know I've learned stuff from you and from Jamie just in the conversations we've had, because you've both got that sort of great mindset of wanting to learn, wanting to help. So it just made me smile, that thinking about you two. I bet you both came out with about 3 trees worth of notes on your paper.
Well, every time we chat, we could have chatted for about 5 hours more, and I'm probably going to go up there in probably next month or two, and just be a flyer on their wall in their kind of team meetings and see how they're going and everything, and just learn off how they kind of operate and see what they're doing, because we did the same thing in December. We went down to CrossFit Louvre, and they hosted us for 2 days, and we learned so much. And I have so many gym owners coming down to Sleven now, probably like once a week. So I have some gym owners from not just London but from across the country coming down, and we're just having chats and show them how everything works. And I think it's so good that we're chatting together, and we are trying to provide these the advice. And I mean, like, especially if you're just opening a gym, like the amount of knowledge I have of like how we went through that process of opening a gym, and like trying to make all these mistakes and everything that I made, and just letting people know to not do X, Y, or Z, or just how we do things. And my advice on some things, I don't have all the answers, but and I can help a lot of people if they want to come down and see what we're doing. Then yeah, you can always book a call and we can have a chat.
I love that, mate. And like Jake's just said there, Andy and Gareth at CrossFit UK are keen to bridge the gyms. A lot coming in the future, and I hope that I'm not like saying that that's not happening, but on my affiliate tour that I've been doing, where I've been going around the CrossFit gyms, the resounding message from gym owners is CrossFit don't talk to us. They don't give us anything. They don't help us. I know they've got a database of resources that are there if you want to go on and find. But I think from an in the moment or in person point of view, they get very little. Like the guy, I was at one on Saturday that we filmed that will come out beginning of September, and he's a 10-year affiliate, and he got his little post from him with a little coin or something, but that's about it. He's applied for his level 4. I know they're not doing it in the UK at the moment, but you don't know what his next progression is as a level 3 coach, a 10-year affiliate owner, and never hears from CrossFit. He's your guy, you know what I mean? Like, and then the guy that I spoke to at Gainsborough, he's talking about de-affiliating because the money doesn't justify the name in his current place. And he said the only time he's heard from CrossFit in 3 or 4 years is when he said he would de-affiliate, and then they got in touch with him to talk about why. And it is that we need that, and it'd be great if Gareth and Andy are going to do that and get out, and then they can, you're a resource, just like Miles, who I was just talking about, who's a 10-year affiliate level 3. He's a great resource because he's done it all, seen it all. Jamie up at Method. There are great people out there that could impart great wisdom on people that are, especially when they're opening, like you say, because everyone wants to, they want free GHDs that are just going to suck space and add no value. They might want an assault runner when they've got a perfect 400-meter track outside. It's those things, isn't it, that you might not necessarily see.
Yeah, I agree. I think I have several views on kind of what you said. I think a lot of people like to complain. The reality is, like, I get a report from Google Maps every month, and it says your 3 most searched terms, second one's CrossFit. So just that alone is bringing us members, right? So like that £400 per month fee is being taken care of through that. So I would assume that at least 2 people are signing up because they want to do CrossFit, or we're getting drop-ins, etc. I know that Andy and Gareth have been really upfront. I mean, I went to the affiliate gathering at SID in Birmingham in July for the Triple Threat. It was Triple Threat, I forget the name. And it was fantastic. There was like a round table of gyms, and we learned so much. And we chatted between gym owners, and I made some really good connections out of it, not just through GymSync, but other things as well. And like that sort of stuff, I think is what CrossFit really needs to be doing. I found it interesting that I think I got an email from the CrossFit Games or CrossFit itself saying they're coming back with like more media, and very much like I was saying, GymSync needs to be showing stories. That's what CrossFit needs to be, right? Is like, yeah, exactly. If you can show the stories of the gyms of, you know, exactly what we're trying to do with GymSync, if CrossFit can do the same, then again, that's just going to help gyms out, right? Because people are going to see those stories and then be like, wow, like it's not too late for me to, you know, step foot in a gym, and like, you know, these are welcoming places and all the great stuff that we know about CrossFit. So yeah, I think it's a tough one. You know, I think like CrossFit's been kind of through the ringer recently, and I guess what it needs to do is just modernize. I think there's just things that haven't modernized about it. The brand itself, the methodology is not moved along. I think some things were like in the level 1, they're talking about the zone diet. It's just like, who's still doing that? Like, we don't believe in that. You know, the way things are programmed, and I just think there's a lot of things that could be modernized with it. But the origin of it and like the nucleus and what CrossFit is still such a great, amazing thing. And we just need to kind of take that and just say, well, where is this market moving? How do we move with it? And I feel like the market's moving along without it, and they need to kind of get their act together to be like, okay, this is what's happening. I mean, you know, a lot of gyms now are opening either second, like, well, put it in perspective, and this is what I see in London. I think London is going to be more advanced with other markets just because it's more competitive, the rents are higher, all this sort of thing. You know, talking to Gymnasium, they have plans to open a gazillion gyms. I think they're probably the next year or two, you're going to see like a big chain of gyms that Gymnasium are going to be opening throughout the UK. And they've settled on a 2-studio model. So one studio is functional fitness, you know, dumbbells and functional bodybuilding, whatever, high rocks, strength and conditioning, whatever you want to call it, that sort of vibe. The other studio is CrossFit, and that's what we've got at Sleven. We settled on this model 3-4 years ago, and I just see this as the future. I see, yes, CrossFit is scalable and adaptable for everybody, but a lot of people don't want to do those technical movements, or they don't want to start with those technical movements. They want to start with just you know, lifting weights, doing cardio workouts, getting fitter and stronger, and then doing the technical aspect. I think for so many years, CrossFit was the only solution. So people would come and do that. But I think that 2-studio model is kind of the way forward. And I know this is difficult for gyms that don't have that ability to run the dual programs. And a lot of them are now starting to think, well, what do I do now? Because obviously Hyrox is kind of creating that demand for that less technical, that, you know, more functional fitness, all that stuff. And a lot of gyms are kind of moving over to that. And in a way, that's the new kind of shiny thing that people want to do. And especially outside of London, you know, I was talking to a gym in Kent, and they were saying all the CrossFit gyms around them are quite tired, quite old. All the equipment is, you know, like, it's dirty and it's not that cool anymore. And then down the road, and they're charging 80 to 100 quid. They have 100 members. Down the road, a new strength and conditioning small group PT or functional Hyrox gym has opened up, and it's all black with neon lights, and it's, you know, they're able to charge £200 per membership. And, you know, that's the thing where people are starting to go towards. And it's quite sad that that's kind of where the market is kind of moving. And it's like, well, how do we get the CrossFit gyms back into that kind of space? And it's a really kind of tough thing to juggle.
It is, but that's hard, isn't it? Because if a gym has gone to shit and the equipment's dirty, and people associate that with CrossFit because it's called CrossFit whatever, it's not CrossFit's fault that gym owner's let his gym go to shit, is it? But
No.
And also, you know, when we talk about this 2-studio model and that, it's great, but it's all CrossFit in essence, isn't it? It's all those movements. So when we talk about, I don't necessarily agree as such that the methodology is dated. I think the media is what holds CrossFit back. I think the methodology at its core
I think if everybody in the world followed it, everyone would be better. And that's how these high rocks or functional fitness, they're all spin-offs of CrossFit on the basis of the movements that Greg perfected. And I think that, yeah, I think they just need to get better at being more open. You know, we've just done 6 episodes of an affiliate series where we've promoted CrossFit affiliates at our own expense because we're passionate about it. Yeah. And we've had no sort of buy-in or shares from CrossFit because they don't want to make, you know, they've got partner agreements and such like that. They don't want to step on no toes. And that it's that kind of thing. So you're missing out on the messages and the stories by being so ring fenced in terms of what you can and can't share. You know, I think about some of the best CrossFit videos you've ever seen. They're the old people getting off the settee, aren't they? And like doing squats and things like that. They're the ones that make it relatable. Whereas at the moment, just after the games, it's great. There's loads of eyes on because the CrossFit games have just taken place. But if you're someone just trying to get into fitness and you Google CrossFit and Tia Toomey comes up doing that crazy stuff that she can do, you're like, oh, well, I can't do that. And it's unrelatable, isn't it?
It's true. I completely agree. Everything is CrossFit. It's just marketing. It's how you define it, right? And I think at the end of the day, you can shout from the rooftops that this is all CrossFit, or, you know, you can tell everybody that Hyrox is just one CrossFit workout, which it is, right? It's just a workout. And it's not like a methodology like you would say, like that CrossFit's kind of trying to define fitness. Hyrox is a race, and it's amazing. It's great. It's super cool, and it's getting people into fitness. But there's 2 things with it. I think CrossFit, because it didn't, I guess over the last few years, it hasn't kind of moved with the times, and it didn't really own this functional fitness or the S&C, whatever we want to call it. I would just call it functional fitness from now on, because they didn't own the space, or they want to disassociate themselves from it. CrossFit has now been defined by the market as technical movements and workouts. So Olympic lifting, gymnastics, double unders, whatever you want to call it, that's what CrossFit is. And that's what our CrossFit classes are at Sleven. I had a conversation with Andy about it. He's like, where in the CrossFit methodology does it say you have to do barbells and workouts or these movements? I'm like, obviously it doesn't, but that's not what you can't define it anymore, because the market has decided that's what CrossFit is. And like, if you have a CrossFitter that wants to do a CrossFit competition, it's going to include those movements. Whereas you say you go to a non-CrossFit competition, it's not going to include those movements, right? So like, there's a clear, it's clear where the market is now, and CrossFit has now disassociated itself from that functional fitness space. And how are they going to link themselves back up into it? And like you and I know, we've been in CrossFit for decades, right? Like, I know an erg workout is still CrossFit because you're doing all those things, right? But it's not being seen that way, right? And I think, how do they get that message back so that, you know, affiliates can attract people in to do these things and, you know, do Hyrox at their gym, but also do CrossFit at their gym, because Hyrox is also CrossFit, and we can all kind of be under one roof, but it's difficult. And like, just as one addendum to that, I think this infinitely scalable thing, I agree, but is the infinitely scalable model appropriate for everybody? So take Amanda squat snatches and ring muscle ups. Do I want, you know, that 60-year-old guy that we talked about earlier to be doing that workout, or should we get him doing, you know, squat patterns, push pull, you know, a little workout, get his heart rate up, rather than getting a PVC in his hand and doing muscle up transitions in a workout? Like, I know what 99% of CrossFit coaches in this country would agree with me, that we want to get him doing the strength work and the fitness work rather than doing that other stuff. But there's this disconnect that we have to teach all that sort of stuff in that CrossFit class. And I think that's where the 2 studio model, in my eyes, has come up. And you know, people want to do the snatching and the ring muscle ups. They want to learn, and we need to provide a place for them to do that. But then, is that really the appropriate place for the majority of the populace? Is the answer is probably not. And, you know, when you're trying to run a business, you need to, you know, get more members through the door. You want to, you know, help as many people as you can. And, you know, obviously the decision's been quite clear for a lot of businesses, like what route they want to go down.
Yeah, and that's it. At the end of the day, it's a business. You've got to protect your business, and if one thing brings people through the door, then that's what you do, isn't it? It's as simple as that, I guess.
Yeah.
So, well, I think we've done as hour, mate. So, in closing, when's the next GymSync? When can people sign up for the next one? And or if people are watching that aren't gym owners, when can they go to their gym and say, "Hey, boss, we need some GymSync"?
Get signed up right away. It'll only take the gym owner 30 minutes to get signed up and put the info out to their members. The next event's end of September, 26th to 28th of September. The workout's called Overload. It's a part A and a part B. So you're going up a ladder in part A, and then a race down the ladder, 4-time workout in part B. And I think it's gonna be super exciting to run. Gyms will also be able to get tons of people through the door because you can run waves every 17 minutes. So from that perspective, if you've got 5-6 ergs, you'll just be getting tons of people through in an hour and a half, 2 hours. So yeah, a lot of gyms are signed up already. So if you're an athlete at any of those gyms, you can sign up, or you can go on a GymSync website and sign up at your local gym. Or if your gym owner is not signed up, then go have a chat with them, and we can have a call and get them signed up as well.
Quality, mate. I'll have a look at that one. It sounds fun. So see if we can get Project back on for this one.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, cool, mate. If you stay on for a sec after, I'll end the stream now. But thanks for your time, mate. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Cheers, Steve.